I understand that it is not necessary at our round table to go too much in details of the past. However, in order to present to you the special case of Germany after the fall of the wall, I have at the beginning to look back for a moment. After 20 years, not all present in this room might remember these specifics of that year, 1989. The German reunification, which followed the fall of the Berlin Wall, did not merely change the basic conditions of a country, but expanded an important player in the center of Europe. And this development was not welcomed by all partners in Europe. Skepticism prevailed in Paris, in London, in Rome, and in some other European capitals, more located in the eastern part of Europe. This, of course, had a historical reason and a historical background. NATO member states, EU member states, yearly and semi-yearly endorsed, of course, the overarching objective of German unification. But when the chance occurred, the story was read a little bit differently. However, trust had been built during nearly 25 years. The German Ostpolitik, started by Willy Brandt, the all-known CSCE process in Europe, and many close contacts between the German government, West German government, and East and Central European capitals had built a degree of trust which turned out very, very helpful. And it contributed to remove the fear of an alleged Fourth Reich. You remember this word after 20 years now. I think it did not last as long. These fears were unfounded completely. Contributing to the acceptance of the development were also significant German concessions. No possession of ABC weapons or production of ABC weapons. The 2+4 treaty, which endorsed by the two German governments this restriction, and the acknowledgement of the existing borders in Europe, where some major concern was existent in the year 89 and 90. Was not easy a process, but it was signed and helped a lot to the peaceful acceptance of the unification. Furthermore, we witnessed an automatic accession of East Germany to NATO and the European Union. So Germany was the first enlargement case of the Union, which I call your attention for. Now, after 2 decades, where do we stand? I concentrate on Germany in particular. As far as Europe is concerned, of course, we have, in spite of all the challenges, all the gloomy, doomy situation which is presented by the media daily to us, we live in a peaceful, stable continent. That is more worth than everything else, every shortfall, which I will refer to later. As far as Germany is concerned, I think I do not exaggerate when stating that we enjoy a high degree of trust from our European neighbors, partners, and friends. This trust often is expressed by the expectation in political talks, which I personally witnessed and I was informed about, that more lead is expected by my country and my government. There are many, many examples, but it is a certain paradoxon involved. The moment the country takes the lead, you can hear the one or other voice, be careful, again a big power or even several big powers together try to establish kind of a directorate within the European Union. You all know this reaction, which time by time also occurs. But this is a normal political element of our nowadays life. As to Germany, freedom and democratic rights, as the Commissioner has referred to, are guaranteed for everyone. This is the prevailing feeling of my country, fellow men. The state system has entirely and radically been transformed along the Western model already at the beginning of the 90s, very, very quickly. We had no experience to refer to, but my country took every effort to change within an extremely short time, virtually the whole life of 1/3 of its citizens. Justice, the federal army was joined with the National People's Army. The foreign service and so on was not merged. The then foreign German minister was sometimes harshly criticized that he gave the rule, the order, that none of the GDR diplomats is allowed to join our diplomatic service. And even the government, which existed in East German territory for less than a year, which had already ambassadors, one of them seconded to a minor capital like Paris. This guy, in very young years, had then to follow again the full course which we offer for young diplomats. Now he has made a quick career. He was a good man.
At least.
And so this led to a very swift establishment of the Western democratic standards without compromises. And the communist system, including the security service of former East Germany, the so-called Stasi, Staatssicherheit, had been thoroughly analyzed, and the files have been catalogued and made accessible publicly. So the regime had no chance to destroy the major parts of these files, because the revolutionaries took over and protected all these files. Of course, there was a loss, but still experts are doing their best to put together all these shredded papers in order to find new evidence.